All right. Speaking of Michigan.
Okay.
Michigan is the popular topic tonight.
It's not Florida?
No.
Did you see that story in Florida about the guy that was tickling the ass?
Yes, I did.
The hell?
Tickling the bung holes.
What the hell is that about?
Yeah, he was a butthole tickler.
Yuck.
Isn't that like a band? The Butthole Ticklers?
Ticklers?
In Norton Shores, Michigan.
Yeah.
Seems to be a lot of stories tonight about misappropriated money.
Okay.
You'll love this one.
All right.
Over the course of 15 years, Catherine Sue Zimmerman. No reaction? Catherine Sue Zimmerman?
Catherine Sue Zimmerman? Does she work with fucking Steamy Creamy or what?
I was expecting you to go black girl.
Oh, no. What's Catherine Sue? No, that's definitely a white girl.
I know, but see, that would be opposite of what it really...
Is she a black girl?
No. I just thought that would be your reaction.
No, of course not.
I was trying to read your reaction here.
Dude, no black person in their sane mind would not name their kid LaQuisha or LaQuanda or some shit like that. There's no Catherine Sues in the black race.
That's why you would say black girl?
No. It's a given. It's a given. Normal name. Probably,
normal. Normal.
White. That's a normal name.
Normal.
Okay. What's her name? Catherine Sue?
Catherine Sue Zimmerman.
Or LaQuisha McNauntner.
See, you're saying that LaQuisha is not a normal name.
You're damn right I'm saying LaQuisha's not a normal
Racist.
name. That's a fucking dumb name.
Racist.
Fine. I'm a racist. By the 2016 standard, I'm a racist anyway, because God forbid I don't agree with the president, so that makes me automatically a racist.
Exactly.
And the fact that I want to see the fucking police mow down these Tamir Rice fucking people down in Cleveland, that makes me a racist.
Sure.
So fuck it. I don't care.
Yep.
LaQuisha, not a normal name.
Exactly. All right. Over the course of 15 years, Catherine Sue Zimmerman arrived at Shoreline Federal Credit Union before her coworkers entered the vault.
Okay.
And stuffed her purse with bundles of cash.
Jesus. She was bold.
It happened 433 times during her employment at the Norton Shores Credit Union, where she was promoted to manager in 2006.
Unbelievable.
She did such a great job of stuffing that money in her purse, they promoted her.
So even if she only took $1,000, which would not be stuffing her purse,
right,
which would just be a small bundle, that would be $400,000.
Well, let me tell you what it added up to.
Okay.
Her take?
Yeah.
More than 1.9 million.
Wow.
Over 15 years.
Holy shit. Why did she quit after 10? At some point, don't you get nervous and quit?
Well, apparently she had this locked in.
Okay.
It was working for her. She wasn't getting caught. Nobody was suspicious of her. She was being promoted. Yeah. She was there for 15 years. She'd been doing this all along, and nobody even questioned it.
Wow.
So for 15 years, over a 15-year period, she stuffed $1.9 million into her purse and walked out with it every day.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Despite an otherwise crime-free past, federal prosecutors want the 55-year-old Muskegon, Michigan resident to serve at least 7.5 years in prison for bringing the one branch credit union to the brink of insolvency.
Do you think that 7 years is a light sentence because she's using her white privilege?
I think that's what it is. If she was a black girl, she would have got 30 years.
She got the death penalty.
Yeah, probably. Electric chair.
They just strapped that electric chair right onto LaQuisha's head.
Right.
Sponged her up.
But because she's a white girl, 7.5 years in a light security prison.
Yeah, probation in like 3 hours.
She got to go home every weekend.
We'll give you 7 years, but we'll suspend that and let you wear an ankle
Yeah,
bracelet.
you got to show up 5 days a week. Weekends, you can go home and spend it with your kids and your husband.
And since you have experience, we're going to put you on work release back at the bank.
Right. White privilege.
You can go back and be the manager there.
Exactly.
You were doing a good job other than the stealing part.
Yeah.
So, obviously you could stay because you're white.
Sure.
That's how it works, isn't it?
Right. And this is Michigan, after all.
And there's not many white faces there.
This ain't Alabama or Mississippi or Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
So you're probably one of those good white folk.
Oh, there's only about 6 white people that live in Michigan, so I'd imagine she probably is.
Sure.
Odds are good.
Exactly. The mother of 2 grown sons callously and without
the name. She had a black husband.
She callously and without compunction. Now there's a term.
So her children were callously and compunction?
And without compunction.
Oh, without compunction.
Stole from her employer by removing cash.
Wow.
From the vault. This is the part that I don't get. 433 separate times. How did they figure that out?
Probably surveillance.
433 times?
They
In 15 years?
Some sort, or just number of times that she went into the vault. They have to sign into the. Oh no, they don't really, do they?
I don't know. I don't know how
there has to be some way that they knew how many times she went in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. How did they figure that out? How did they figure it was 433?
There's got to be surveillance. They have surveillance in those.
Well, if they had surveillance, they sure weren't looking at it.
Don't you think that this place had one of those guards like you might see in like an old Sanford and Son?
Like Andy Griffith.
Yeah, the guy can't hear.
Asa with his gun, who was all moldy and only had 1 bullet.
Right, and the bullet was in his pocket.
Right.
Hey!
Assistant U.S. Attorney Clay Stifler.
Oh, Stifler making an appearance.
Remember Stifler's mom?
Yeah, from American Pie.
Exactly.
Right.
Wrote in a sentencing memorandum filed on Tuesday in U.S. District Court in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Mm-hmm. Last year's take was $319,000, court records show.
Wow.
Her 2015 take was only $23,000.
Wow.
Before auditors reported the embezzlement to the Norton Shores Police on February 20th. Zimmerman was fired from the credit union a week later.
Why didn't she fucking run for cover at that point?
I don't know.
Why didn't she fucking use some of that money and get on a plane?
Sure.
Go somewhere where they can't extradite you.
Exactly. Court records do not reveal what she did with the money.
Yeah.
But Zimmerman's lawyer said the theft began when her husband was laid off from work.
Okay.
Zimmerman, who joined the credit union in 1986, initially intended to put the money back.
Sure,
I'm just only going to borrow this for a little while.
I work at the bank, and we make all of our money off of loans, but I'm not going to fill out any of the paperwork for.
I'm just going to borrow some off the top.
Yeah,
I'm going
to do exactly the opposite of what the business model of this bank is.
Sure. Just going to borrow a little of this cash. I'm going to put it back, though.
You people are going to pay 19.5% interest on this fucking loan. Me, I'm going to just take it and I'll return it when I want.
Right.
Sounds fair.
Defense attorney Gary Springfield wrote in a sentencing memorandum asking for leniency when his client is sentenced next week.
Leniency?
Leniency.
Why?
Well, she's
for the community.
Unfortunately, Miss Zimmerman's day of reckoning came 17 years too late. after she had already stolen $1.9 million from the credit union.
Jeez, oh man.
She feels shame.
Does she?
She feels shame.
Yeah. She said as she rolled away in her 2015 Jaguar.
Right.
After sentencing.
She feels guilt.
She feels horrible as she rolled up on her $380,000 home.
Right. She knows she betrayed her friends and her coworkers at the credit union.
She could be seen dabbing her eyes with a tissue that she took out of her $27,000 Gucci bag.
Her Louis Vuitton purse. Her husband and family and her friends with deceit. Springfield is seeking a shorter sentence because Zimmerman did not use or abuse a position of trust to commit the crime.
Wait a fucking minute. How is being the bank manager the only one that has full access to the vault, not abusing the privilege to steal the money?
What I want to know is how these lawyers sleep at night coming up with this bullshit and presenting it to a judge.
What the hell, man? Out of here.
Oh, my God. Her method was astonishingly simple.
Okay.
And the vault was nothing more than a filing cabinet with a lockable drawer, he wrote.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Because it was so easy to get to, that kind of absolves her of the crime. That she didn't have to, like, wheel a big tumbler and, spin it and open a big door and all this other stuff.
How in the fuck does a place like this get their FDIC insurance when they walk in there and find a fucking filing cabinet that me and you could go buy at Home Depot?
Right.
What the hell?
She gave employees at least $500 each week, typically $50 and $100 bills, and asked them to deposit the money into the account belonging to her family. So basically, she stole the money out of the vault.
And laundered it out.
That she laundered it back. She used this tact because credit union policies prohibited employees from making deposits into their own accounts.
Oh, nice.
So she took the money out of the vault. Then she'd turn around and give it to an employee and say, hey, put this in my husband's account. Hey, put this in my kid's account. This is what they earned on their paper route this week.
What the? Yeah, their paper route.
This is what my son earned at Domino's when he wrote fucking cunt on a receipt.
Here's what my unemployed husband made this week.
Right. Zimmerman and her husband, an hourly factory worker, each earned about $40,000 a year. Her two sons also worked hourly jobs. Mm-hmm. Yet over the 15-year span, more than $875,000 in unexplained cash deposits were made to the Shoreline accounts belonging to Zimmerman and her family.
She fucking deposited back in the same bank.
She took the money out and then she put it right back in.
Why wouldn't you go to another bank? Or a safe in your house? Or something other than that? She deposited in the same fucking place?
Yep.
Dummy.
The scene of the crime.
Oh, my God.
Zimmerman pleaded guilty in August to embezzlement from a credit union, which is punishable by up to 30 years in prison.
Wow. She only got 7. White privilege.
In exchange for her plea, federal prosecutors agreed to not file charges against her husband and her sons.
Oh, wow.
Sentencing guidelines for Zimmerman recommended a term of 6.5 to 8 years. Stifler, the assistant U.S. attorney handling the case, said the scope and the complexity of the embezzlement justifies a longer term.
Yeah.
Her criminal behavior substantially jeopardizes the safety and soundness of Shoreline, causing the credit union's net worth ratio to drop below 2%. Zimmerman cooked the books, so not only did she steal, but she covered it up by the bookkeeping.
Wow. How do you cover up bookkeeping in a what is this place? Fucking Mayberry?
Well, it is. It's Central Michigan. It's not, it's
they don't
small
have computers. They don't computerize their banking.
Well, it's a credit union. It's not like a national bank or part of a chain or anything like that. It belongs to, it's a local community thing.
Yeah, but is she?
Well, it's a small town banking.
Yeah, I guess.
Zimmerman cooked the books to reflect a net worth ratio of 12.5%. The government said in its sentencing memorandum. Police found 3 cash straps containing several $1,000s in her home initially, and said the money came from her daughter-in-law's horse business and perhaps her son's drug dealing. His drug dealing.
At least she had an answer.
According to the federal sentencing memorandum. So it was either from her daughter-in-law's horse business or her son's drug dealing. Nothing like ratting your own kid out. Oh, you know what? He's a kind of a high profile drug dealer around here. He only deals in cash. He doesn't take credit cards or checks.
What the hell? Numbered bills that just happen to match the credit union.
Yeah, exactly. The amount pilfered, I like AOR Rocks pilfering dickweed, represents 86% of the earnings the small credit union established in 1953.
Jesus Christ. That place is fucking... That's like Mayberry.
It is.
They only made $1.9 million in 15 years.
Well, you got to figure it's just a small credit union.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a shared cash thing, like if they lend money out on a house or whatever, it's because of all the depositors. Right. So they're not backed by like a major banking corporation.
Yeah.
So it's a small town banking thing.
Would you even trust putting your money in a bank that in its fucking history only made $1.9 million?
Well, see, here's the thing though. People in a small community where everybody knows each other and they're all neighbors and we all belong to the credit union. It's kind of like The Wonderful Life. Did you see that movie?
Yeah.
That Jimmy Stewart. Everybody kind of helping everybody else and leaving in their money, and you take out X amount of dollars and you deposit X amount of dollars, and it's sort of like this whole community thing. Like we're all working together for the common good.
Great, it's commune. Fantastic.
That's the whole thing.
Pass.
So established in 1953 in the Muskegon suburb on the shores of Lake Michigan, northwest of Grand Rapids, retained over its 62 years of existence. The credit union serves about 4,000 employees and retirees from about 18 Muskegon County companies. Its members are designated as low income.
Really? This is wow.
So this lady, who was the head of this credit union, she went in there and she basically, filled her purse and said, you know what, these hicks won't know shit. I'm just going to, help myself.
Yeah.
And nobody will know the difference.
That's right.
But she did get caught.
Yep. And now she's in jail.
Right. So after 15 years of stealing almost $2 million,
yeah,
I can't even imagine.
Worst part is she's going to come out of jail after 6 years or whatever, and she's going to be broke.
Probably.
She's not going to have that money.
Yeah, I know, but how do you go to sleep at night knowing that you go into your job every day? You just help yourself to the cash.
well, maybe, for her, let's just hope that the kid's drug dealing business does take off so it can fucking make up the difference. What the hell?
Could you imagine the feds coming into your house and finding these $1,000 cash wraps and going, what the hell is this from? And they go, oh, well, my son's a drug dealer. And how does that even come out?
Believe me, there's not a time that if the feds came in here and found $8,000, I wouldn't be like, hey, where'd that come from? I didn't steal it.
Sure.
I never have fucking $1,000 laying around, let alone 800,000 or whatever you said she had. Jesus Christ.
I know. Thought you'd enjoy that little small town Mayberry story.
Holy cow.